So yesterday we were talking about glaucoma, okay, different types of the glaucoma, what are the causes of glaucoma, and we're talking about the treatment of open angle or chronic simple glaucoma. So in that have different groups of the drugs, like we have beta blockers, alpha adrenergic agonist, okay, and carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, prostaglandin analogs. So many drugs are there for the treatment of open angle glaucoma. So we have finished beta blockers. Okay, in the beta blockers, we have different timolol, cartilol, betoxolol, levobunolols. Okay, these are the different beta blockers we can use in open angle glaucoma. So these are the group of the drugs which decrease the formation of the aqueous humor. Finish this beta blockers yesterday. So this beta 2 receptors present in this epithelium, okay, ciliary epithelium. So when we are inhibiting this beta 2 receptor over here, then there is down regulation of the adenylyl cyclase, okay, that cause decrease in the aqueous humor formation or synthesis. Why these beta blockers are preferred than other miotics group of the drugs? Because of this advantage. This I have already discussed yesterday. An adverse drug reaction, like they have ocular adverse drug reaction and systemic adverse drug reaction. So why there is systemic adverse drug reaction even in the topical route. This also I have discussed yesterday, okay? So now let's start with the another group of the drug, that is alpha adrenergic agonist. So in alpha adrenergic agonist also we have different drugs like adrenaline, we have brimonidine, apraclonidine. So these are the different adrenergic agonists which we can use in case of open angle glaucoma. So these drugs, this adrenaline, I think all of you know, they're very familiar with adrenaline. Okay, this is a sympathomimetic drugs, adrenaline, that act on the various receptor, adrenergic receptor like alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2. It acts on all the receptor. This is a non-specific sympathomimetic drugs, okay, adrenaline. So it acts by various mechanism in case of treatment of open angle glaucoma. So it lowers intraocular tension when we give by topical route. Okay, 0.5 to 1% when you instill in the eye, then it reduces the intraocular tension by this two mechanism, by either by increasing UV scleral outflow and also by increasing the conductivity of trabecular filtering cells. So I think all of you know what is trabecular cells, what is trabecular meshwork. Okay, so these drugs helps in the open angle glaucoma by increasing the UV scleral outflow. Okay, as well as it, yes.
Ma'am, the slide isn't changing.
Not changing.
Ma'am, it's on beta blockers.
Yes, ma'am, it's not changing.
Now we slide.
Ma'am,
Beta
still
blockers.
beta blockers.
Still beta blockers. Still you are seeing beta blocker.
No, ma'am,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
still in
Yes,
slide.
ma'am.
Yes.
It's still in slide 15.
I have changed it here. Now which slide are you seeing? Still beta blockers.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's
Yes, ma'am. Now
changing.
we can see.
Alpha adrenergic agonist.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now alpha adrenergic agonist. No.
Yes, ma'am. We can
Yes,
see.
ma'am.
In alpha adrenergic agonist we have different drugs. Okay, adrenaline, apraclonidine, brimonidine. So these all are the adrenergic agonist. This adrenaline, they act on the different receptor, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2. All the adrenergic receptor it act. So by acting on the different receptors, it helps in the open angle glaucoma by increasing the evioscleral outflow, and also it increase the conductivity of the trabecular meshwork. Okay, increase the conductivity of trabecular cells. So it increases the outflow of the aqueous humor. So another mechanism is that it reduces the aqueous humor formation by acting on alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptor that is present in the ciliary body. So you can see here in this figure. Okay, this is a diagram of ciliary body in which we have the different blood vessels. Okay, these are the epithelial cells of the ciliary body. Okay, these are the epithelial cells in which different receptors are present. So this adrenaline helps in decreasing the formation of the aqueous humor by acting on alpha 1 receptor and alpha 2 receptors. Okay, by acting on the alpha 1 receptor, it causes vasoconstriction. Okay, so due to the vasoconstriction, there is a decreased blood flow in the ciliary body. Ultimately, there is a decreased formation of aqueous humor due to the decreased blood flow. Okay, this is how this adrenaline helps in decreasing the aqueous humor. Likewise, it also acts on the alpha 2 receptor as well. By acting on alpha 2 receptors, it decreases the synthesis of aqueous humor. Okay. So in this way, it helps in the treatment of open angle glaucoma. Next alpha adrenergic drug is dipivefrin. It is also a prodrug of adrenaline. That means after entering into the body, it will convert it into adrenaline by some enzymes. Okay, that enzymes is esterase enzymes that is present in cornea. So after penetrating into the cornea, it is finally converted into adrenaline. So it is known as prodrug of adrenaline. So it has a longer duration of action than adrenaline. Other side effect and other are almost similar to that of adrenaline. So it is used as an add-on therapy in poorly controlled patient. So if the patient is not controlled by beta blockers, then you can add this drug. It's adjuvant drugs. Okay. Likewise, another alpha adrenergic agonist is apraclonidine. It is a
Ma'am, the slides are
Ma'am,
not
again,
changing.
the slide is not changing.
Still in adrenaline, ma'am.
still adrenaline, not
Yes,
pure.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Why?
I have shown it in the slides.
Ma'am, we can see the diagram.
Diagram, no? Still diagram or next slide?
Next slide.
Next, ma'am.
Next.
Dipivefrin, okay, it is a prodrug of adrenaline that I have already discussed. Okay, ultimately it converted into adrenaline by esterase enzymes that is present in cornea. So because of this, it has a longer duration of action, because it has to be first converted into adrenaline, no? So it has a longer duration of action than adrenaline. So these types of the drugs we can use as an add-on therapy, not as a single drug. In case of open angle glaucoma, you can add this drug along with the beta blockers. Okay, if the condition is not controlled by beta blockers, then you can add it. Next is the apraclonidine. Okay, this is also a alpha adrenergic agonist, the clonidine congener. You know what is clonidine? It is a central sympatholytic drugs, that mostly used in case of the hypertension. So these drugs can also be used in case of this open angle glaucoma. It is a polar congener. That means it is a water soluble drugs, that it does not cross the blood-brain barrier. But when you instill by the topical route in the eye, it lowers the intraocular tension by 25%. So it is available in the different percentage like 0.5 to 1%. So when you instill in the eye, decrease the intraocular tension by 25%. So it acts by decreasing the aqueous humor production by acting on alpha 2 and alpha 1 action in the ciliary body is that of the adrenaline. Okay, by acting on the alpha 2, it decreases the aqueous humor production, and by acting on the alpha 1, it constrict the blood vessels and decrease blood flow and ultimately decrease formation of the aqueous humor. There are certain side effects of these drugs like itching, follicular conjunctivitis, mydriasis, eyelid retraction, dryness of the mouth. So these are the some common side effects of this drug. So this drug is basically used to control spikes of intraocular tension after laser trabeculoplasty or iridectomy. So after this surgery, we can use this drug to decrease the intraocular tension. Okay, after the trabeculoplasty and iridectomy. Next, we have the brimonidine. It is also a alpha adrenergic agonistic drug. It is also a clonidine congener. Okay, it is more alpha 2 selective and more lipophilic than apraclonidine. Okay, apraclonidine is a polar drug that is a hydrophilic, but this is a lipophilic that can cross blood-brain barrier as well. It decreases the intraocular tension by 20 to 27% by reducing the aqueous production and by increasing the uvascleral outflow. So it has two mechanisms of action, okay, by increasing uvascleral outflow and also decrease the aqueous humor production. So it has a side effect less than that of the apraclonidine. But dry mouth, sedation, and small fall in the blood pressure can be seen. Sedation is due to because it has a central effect as well. Because of its lipophilic in nature, it can cross blood-brain barrier. So the patient may feel sedation with this drug, with brimonidine. So these are the alpha adrenergic agonists, which we can use in case of open angle glaucoma as an add-on therapy, okay, not a sole agents. So these drugs can be used in case of short-term prophylaxis of intraocular tension spikes, in case of post-laser trabeculoplasty and iridectomy. And also we can use as a long-term use in glaucoma along with the beta blockers. So it becomes the third choice of drugs or add-on therapy. Okay, it is one of the third choice of the drug. So different brand names are available like Alphagon, Iobrimo, 2% eye drops. Okay, these are the different names of this drug. So one drop you can instill in the eye, in each eye. The next group of the drug is prostaglandin analog. So these are also very effective drugs in case of open angle glaucoma. Okay, nowadays the beta blockers, they are replaced by prostaglandin analogs because of the very less side effect than that of the beta blockers. So this prostaglandin becomes one of the first line drugs in developed countries. Okay, because this drug is somehow expensive than that of beta blockers. So in prostaglandin analogs, we have the latanoprost, travoprost, and bimatoprost. Do you know what is prostaglandin? So this prostaglandin is a lipids, okay, that is synthesized by our membrane phospholipids. So in our main cell membrane, there is a phospholipids. Phospholipids is present that is converted into the arachidonic acid, okay, by an enzymes, and this arachidonic acid is finally converted into prostaglandin by the cyclooxygenase enzymes, okay. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So this prostaglandin, they are released in case of inflammatory condition or in case of any injury. Okay. So this also provides the protective factors. So we have the different prostaglandin analogs. These are the three different drugs we can use in glaucoma patient. low concentration of the prostaglandin lower the intraocular tension without inducing ocular inflammation. It does not produce any ocular inflammation, but it only lowers the intraocular tension by increasing the uvascleral outflow, by increasing permeability of the tissue in ciliary muscles. So it acts by this mechanism, increasing the uvascleral outflow by increasing the permeability of tissue in ciliary muscles. Okay. So the permeability of the ciliary muscles is increased, then there is an increased outflow of aqueous humor through uvascleral outflow. That I have taught you yesterday. So this is COX enzymes. Okay, this COX enzyme is responsible for the synthesis of prostaglandin from arachidonic acid. Okay, this COX-2 enzymes is down regulated in case of wide angle glaucoma. Okay, this COX-2 enzymes, so is down regulated in wide angle glaucoma. So we are giving this prostaglandin analog because this prostaglandin helps in the dynamic of the aqueous humor. So they help in the in the movement of the aqueous humor. So when there is a down regulation of the COX-2, and obviously there is a decreased concentration of the prostaglandin, so there is a decreased movement of the aqueous humor. So in that condition, we are giving this prostaglandin analog to increase the permeability of ciliary cells, ciliary muscle cells, so that it will increase the uvascleral outflow. Clear? So this become the first choice of drugs in case of open angle glaucoma in developed countries. Why developed countries focused? Because this drug is somehow expensive than other drug. Okay, so only the very high economic peoples, they can afford this drug, because this drug should be installed for the long term. Okay, it has a good efficacy. Once daily application is sufficient in absence of systemic complication. Okay, because of this various advantage, this drug become the first choice of drug nowadays in case of open angle glaucoma. So let's start with the first prostaglandin analog, that is latanoprost. Its efficacy is similar to timolol, but somehow side effect is less than that of the timolol, but efficacy is similar. That is reduction of the intraocular tension by 25 to 35%. The effect is well sustained over the long-term use. So if the patient is using for the long time, the action is prolonged and sustained. Even in the discontinuation of these drugs will provide its action. So the patient compliance is also good. If the person forget to instill these drugs, then there is no any problem. Okay, that drugs is continued working. It also reduces intraocular tension in normal pressure glaucoma also. Even when there is a intraocular tension is normal, it decreases the intraocular tension also. So it should be given in case only when there is an increase in intraocular tension. It does not have any systemic side effect as that of the beta blockers. Okay, it has some topical or local side effect like irritation of the eye, pain. These are the very common side effect, but it does not have any systemic side effect. So these are the very common side effects like blurring of the visions, increase iris pigmentation, thickening and darkening of the eyelashes, and macular edema. So these are the common side effect, local side effect, but it does not have any systemic side effect. Next group of the drug is carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. So this carbonic anhydrase is an enzyme which is responsible for the synthesis of aqueous humor by formation of bicarbonate ion. Okay, this bicarbonate ion is the very essential constituent of aqueous humor. So this carbonic anhydrase enzymes is present in the ciliary epithelium. So this is a ciliary epithelium. This is a ciliary body and this is a ciliary epithelium. So in the ciliary epithelium, we have the carbonic anhydrase enzymes. Okay, this is a carbonic anhydrase enzymes that is responsible for the synthesis of bicarbonate ion. So that bicarbonate ion is released into the aqueous humor. Okay, so it increases the concentration of aqueous humor. So carbonic anhydrase inhibitors act in this enzymes, carbonic anhydrase. So it inhibits the formation of aqueous humor. So this is also very effective drugs in case of closed angle glaucoma or acute congestive glaucoma. So it reduces the aqueous formation by limiting generation of the bicarbonate ion in the ciliary epithelium. So this is how these drugs decrease the intraocular tension by decreasing formation of aqueous humor by reducing the bicarbonate ion synthesis. So it can be used to supplement other ocular hypotensive drugs, like you can use along with the beta blockers. Okay, so you can use with the other drugs in case of closer angle glaucoma, and you can use before and after ocular surgery laser therapy. So if the other drugs does not produce the target intraocular tension, then you can use this drug. So these are the uses of carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Acetazolamide is most commonly used. Okay, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. It has some systemic side effect like paresthesia, anorexia, hypokalemia, acidosis, malaise, and depression, which restrict the long-term use. Okay, because of this certain side effect, these drugs cannot be used for the long term. So these drugs should be limited for a very short period of time. Okay, to reduce the aqueous humor, like in case of closer angle glaucoma or acute congestive glaucoma, this drug is used in the initial few days to reduce the intraocular tension, but it should not be used for the long term. That may produce the various side effects, okay, like malaise, acidosis, hypokalemia. Next carbonic anhydrase inhibitors is dorzolamide. It can be used topically. It is developed to circumvent systemic side effect of acetazolamide. So side effect of this dorzolamide is less than that of acetazolamide. So it is more safer than that of acetazolamide. So these drugs can be used topically as well. So it lowers the intraocular tension by 20%, but it is less efficacious than timolol. So we can use 2% eye drops 3 times a day. This drug, okay. So in contrast to acetazolamide, it has a less systemic side effect. That is only difference. And it can be used topically as well. The ocular side effect like stinging sensation of the eye, burning sensation, itching, and bitter taste. Sometimes it leads to bitter taste when you use by the oral route. It can be used only in add-on therapy along with the topical beta blockers or prostaglandin analog. So these drugs also not be used as a single therapy, monotherapy. Okay, so you have to always use as an add-on therapy, as an adjuvant drug. When other drugs are contraindicated, then you can use this drug. We have another carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, that is brinzolamide, that is similar to acetazolamide or dorzolamide. So these are the 3 carbonic anhydrase inhibitors we can use in case of open angle glaucoma as well as in case of angle closure glaucoma. Next, we have the miotics. Okay, miotics, that is a polynomimetic agents. I have pilocarpine is most commonly used as a miotic agents in case of glaucoma. So because of the various adverse drug reaction of pilocarpine, like it causes blurring of the visions, okay, because of the constriction of the iris muscles, it produces headache and it produces cataract in case of long-term use. So it has a various drawbacks we cannot use as a first line drugs. So this becomes a third line drugs in case of open angle glaucoma. Here, in contrast to beta blockers, it has a various side effect. I have taught you yesterday what are the advantages of beta blockers over miotics. Because of these various drawbacks, we cannot use as a first or second line drugs. So you can use only as a third line drugs in case of open angle glaucoma. So in open angle glaucoma, it decreases the intraocular tension by increasing ciliary muscle tone, improving patency of trabeculae. Okay, in open angle glaucoma, the trabecular patency is lost. Okay, in that condition, when you are using pilocarpine or miotic agents, it increases the patency of trabecule. So it facilitates the increased flow of the aqueous humor through trabecular pathway. Okay, this is how it works in case of open angle glaucoma. But in case of the angle closure glaucoma, it acts by the separate mechanism of action. Okay. In this condition, it contracts the sphincter pupillae muscles of the iris so that it widens the angle, which are closed in case of closed angle glaucoma. So in case of open angle glaucoma, it opens the angle. Angle closure glaucoma, it opens the angle, iridocorneal angles, so that it increases the outflow of the aqueous humor. So you can see here in this diagram. So this is a contraction of myotics. This is a iris muscle. So in iris muscles, we have the two different types of the muscles. One is a circular muscles and one is a radial muscles. So in the circular muscles is also known as a sphincter pupillae, in which muscarinic receptor is present. So myotic agents that act in this sphincter pupillae muscles. So when it contract, then the angle between the cornea and the iris is separated. Okay, so there is this opens the angle of iridocorneal angles, which help in the closure angle glaucoma. But in case of the open angle glaucoma, it will contract these ciliary muscles. Okay, when the ciliary muscle contraction is there, then the patency of the trabecular mesoarc is increased. So there is an increased outflow of the aqueous humor through this trabecular outflow, trabecular pathway. These myotics act differently in open angle glaucoma and closed angle glaucoma. So these are the different drugs which we can use in case of open angle glaucoma. So you can see here different drug class, and by how it acts in the eye to decrease, either to decrease in the aqueous humor secretion or to increase the outflow. So like beta blockers, it only decreases the aqueous humor secretion. There is no effect in trabecular outflow and UV scleral outflow. Likewise, adrenaline, it has a doubt in aqueous secretion, but it increases the trabecular outflow and as well as it increases the UV scleral outflow. And brimonidine, apraclonidine, it decreases the aqueous secretion. It does not have any effect on trabecular outflow, but it increases the UV scleral outflow. So this chart you can see, it is taken from the KDT only. Okay, you can see in the book. Likewise, prostaglandin analogs, it increases the UV scleral outflow. It does not have any effect in the aqueous secretion. Likewise, myotics, it increases the trabecular outflow in open angle glaucoma. In carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, it decreases the aqueous humor secretion, but it does not have any effect on trabecular outflow and UV scleral outflow. This is like a summary, okay? What I have taught you earlier, this is a type of summary. So you can have glance. So finally, we finished open angle glaucoma. So at last, I want to make you clear that how to treat open angle glaucoma. So there are some strategy, okay, how you can treat open angle glaucoma. So when a patient of the open angle glaucoma comes to you, then what is the how we will treat the patient? So you have to start with always with monotherapy, okay, with a single drug only, either with the latanoprost or topical beta blockers. You never use multiple drugs at the initial time. So always start with the monotherapy, either with the prostaglandin analog like latanoprost or topical beta blockers like timolol. So if target intraocular tension is not attained either by this drug, then you can add the other drugs as the alternative drugs, okay. Either you can change. If you are prescribing latanoprost, then you can change to beta blockers, okay. If you are prescribing initially beta blockers, then you can change to latanoprost. So you can alternate the drugs. Or if the alternative drugs does not work even, then you can add this drug. You can combine latanoprost with topical beta blockers. This brimonidine, dorzolamide, difebrin, okay, this alpha agonist, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, they are used only when there are contraindication to prostaglandin analogs or beta blockers, okay, like some patients of cardiac patients or some having the respiratory problems like asthmatic patients, these beta blockers we cannot prescribe. So in that condition in which these drugs are contraindicated, then you can give this drug, okay, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors and alpha agonistic drug. And lastly, topical miotics and oral acetazolamide are added only at the as a last resort. Okay, if all these drugs does not provide a satisfactory intraocular tension, then we can use pilocarpine or acetazolamide as a last resort, because these drugs have various side effects. So these drugs are used only as a last resort only. So this is how you can treat a patient of open angle glaucoma. This is the very important things you should know, okay. Approach to treatment of open angle glaucoma. Now come to angle closure or narrow angle or acute congestive glaucoma. So in this condition, the individuals having narrow iridocorneal angles, okay, the angle between the iris and the cornea is become very narrow, and there is a shallow anterior chamber, okay, anterior chamber also become narrow, as well as there is a iridocorneal angles which is narrow in this type of the patient. And this condition is further aggravated by some precipitating factors or precipitating agents like mydriasis, okay. In that individuals, when these precipitating agents are not there, then there is a normal intraocular tension, but when they are precipitated by some precipitating factors like mydriatic agents, then condition become worsen, okay. There is a sudden rise in the intraocular tension very rapidly. So it can rise up to 60 millimeter of mercury, okay. That is a very high level of the aqueous humor. Our normal aqueous humor is in the range of 10 to 20 millimeter of mercury only. So in case of acute congestive glaucoma, it may rise up to 60 millimeter of mercury, okay, which indicate a medical emergency. So in this condition, you have to treat the patient as soon as possible. So by giving aggressive treatment, okay, by the combination of the various drugs to decrease the intraocular tension very fast. Clear? If there is any delay, then the patient may lead to blindness, okay, due to the damage to the optic nerve, because there is a increase in the intraocular tension in the posterior chamber of the eye that will press the optic nerve and finally lead to blindness. So you should have immediate measures for this type of patient. So how will you treat this closure angle glaucoma or acute congestive glaucoma? There are many drugs which can combine to decrease the intraocular tension very fast, okay. So the first one is hypertonic mannitol. So this is a very effective drugs in case of acute congestive glaucoma that decrease the aqueous humor very fast. So these drugs should be given by intravenous route in the percentage of 20 or 1.5 to 2 gram per kg intravenously you have to give. So it acts by its osmotic action, okay, because it is a hypertonic solution, no? Hypertonic. So it has the capacity of absorbing water towards the cell. So it absorbs the water from the various compartment of the body. So in the eye also there is an increase in the aqueous humor. Aqueous humor means that is the water content of the eye is increased. So it drains the water from the eyes towards itself or towards the plasma. So it decreases the intraocular tension of the eye because of its osmotic nature. Here, because it is a hypertonic, no? So by giving intravenous route, it decongestions the eye by osmotic action. We can use retention enema 50% glycerol also as a intraocular tension lowering agents. Next very effective drug in case of angle closure glaucoma is acetazolamide. Okay, this is a carbonic anhydrase inhibitors that decrease the formation of the aqueous humor, okay, by acting on the ciliary epithelium. So these drops also you can use intravenously immediately, 0.5 grams immediately, and after that you can give orally twice a day. Okay, stat you have to give intravenously and then you continue with the oral dose. Next drops we can give is myotics. In myotics we can give pilocarpine. So start pilocarpine 1.4% instill in the eye every 10 minutes. Okay, every 10 minutes you have to instill pilocarpine in the eye to decrease or to widen the iridocorneal angle. No, but to instill the pilocarpine, the pressure should be lower. Okay, the pressure should start falling. Until and unless the pressure is fall, then we should not use myotics. This is very important things you should know. Okay, in case of high intraocular tension, this myotics does not work because our sphincter pupillae muscles, they are not responsible, they are not sensitive to myotics in case of high intraocular tension. Okay, so initially you have to decrease the intraocular tension by giving the above therapy like mannitol and acetazolamide. So after the intraocular tension falls down, then you instill myotic agents, pilocarpine, so that the iris muscles is sensitive to myotics. So this is a very important things you should know. Why myotics should be given after decreasing intraocular tension. So initially you should not instill myotics. Okay, after giving hypertonic mannitol and after giving acetazolamide, and there is a decrease or fall in the intraocular tension. So after that you have to instill myotics. So it helps in this glaucoma by contraction of the sphincter pupillae muscles, so that the pupillary block is removed and iridocorneal angle is freed. So excuse me, just wait of because my battery is getting low. I'll just charge it. So let's see in this figure how these myotic agents help in the acute congestive glaucoma. Okay, this is a case of acute congestive glaucoma. So this acute congestive glaucoma is precipitated by mydriatic agents, that is the agents which cause dilatation of the pupil. Okay, this is the iris muscles, no? So these iris muscles become bulky and thick by the mydriatic agents. So when it becomes bulky, it will attach with the lens. Can you see here in this figure? There is attachment of the lens with this iris muscles, so that it is blocking this angle. So this aqueous humor that is formed in the posterior chamber cannot go through this way because the angle is blocked by attachment of this iris muscles with lens. And when there is no outflow of the aqueous humor, then there is a further increase in the tension over here, and that will push this iris muscle towards cornea. So there is a bulging of this iris muscle. So this bulging will cause closure of this iridocorneal angle. Okay, the angle between the iris and cornea. So there is a narrow iridocorneal angle because of the bulging of this iris muscles. That bulging is due to the increased intraocular tension posteriorly. Okay, but while you are giving these miotic agents like pilocarpine, this pilocarpine help in the contraction of the pincer pupillae muscles here. So this iris become thin, and when it becomes thin, the pupil is constricted. Okay, there is a constriction of the pupil, so it leaves the lens and it provides separation from the lens with iris. And you see here there is an opening of this angle between the lens and the iris. When it becomes thin, and there is a separation of this iridocorneal angle as well. There is a widening of the iridocorneal angle. So the aqueous humor can easily flow from the posterior chamber and anterior chamber, as well as there is a widening of this iridocorneal angle. So this is how these miotic agents help in case of acute congestive glaucoma. So this figure is very important. How the miotic agents help in acute congestive glaucoma. By constricting the pupil, it freed the lens from the iris muscles. So there is an opening of these angles, and aqueous humor can easily flow from the posterior chamber to anterior chamber. So when it freed the lens from the iris, obviously there is a separation of this angle also. Okay, there is a widening of the iridocorneal angle. The bulging is not there anymore. Okay, this iris become thin. So there is a widening of this angle. There is a easy drainage of the aqueous humor from the anterior chamber. Clear? Any doubt in this figure? Next talk we can give in acute congestive glaucoma is topical beta blockers. Okay, after the intraocular tension is decreased and after giving miotic agents, then we can give beta blockers. Okay, every 12 hourly we can instill in the eye. For the prophylaxis, we can use topical beta blockers. Also, we can give apraclonidine, latanoprost, okay, they have prostaglandin analogs, alpha-2 agonist, we can use as an add-on therapy along with the other drugs. This apraclonidine in the percentage of 7 and latanoprost 0.05%, we can instill in the eye. After the emergency condition is managed, then we can give the other drugs, okay, like topical beta blockers, apraclonidine and latanoprost. But the definitive treatment of this closure angle glaucoma is always surgical or laser iridectomy. Okay, these are only for the management of emergency condition. These drugs, drugs are used only to terminate the attack of angle closure glaucomas. But the definitive treatment is always surgery. So you have to do iridectomy, widen the angle between the iris and the lens. So this is how we can manage acute congestive glaucoma, by giving the combination of the different drugs. Okay, the most effective is osmotic diuretics like mannitol. Then we have to give carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, okay, to decrease the intraocular tension. Then we have to instill the miotic agents, prevent or to release the iridocorneal angle. And then at last we can give topical beta blockers and other prostaglandin analogs is an add-on therapy. But always the definitive treatment becomes surgery, okay, laser iridectomy. So this is the last slide regarding our glaucoma. Acute congestive glaucoma, open angle glaucoma. So thank you all of you. If you have any doubt, then we can discuss.